Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we are back with episode 9 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is of course oxygen not included. Today we are here to fix a couple mistakes, better to say one major one, and we are also here of course to expand our base. We're gonna go into nuclear research and maybe even get us some natural gas in. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are. So let's turn the overlay back on and let's pause the game. Because this here is the mistake I was talking about, and it was pointed out to me by the one and only Jemsterr himself down in the comments in the last video. Thank you very much for that. And the problem is the Atmos sensor, not the one up here on the top. That one is exactly where it's supposed to be, but there should be another one down here on the bottom. Kind of something like this here. Yep, that is kind of what we need, and we don't have it. So if I actually turn with this signal switch, this electrolyzer here off, the pump here will still be running, and it will be running forever, and eventually it will get into the hydrogen, which is of course, well, let's just say suboptimal. So what can we do about it? Of course, we will need a liquid lock to get back in here. We have all this chlorine back here, but that is none of our concern. That is no problem at all. So let's build us a nice little liquid lock, something just like this here. That should get the job done. One piece right here. In plumbing, we need a bottle emptier that we're gonna plop right around here maybe. Actually, we don't even need this tile right here. Yeah, you know what? Let's put it in, screw it, it'll be fine. And then a couple pieces of ladder, just like we have on the other side. And the ones on the other side we need to tear out. All right, let's get this here built, and then let's check back in on it when we have it. And here we have it, and the most important parts are built. Only 2 more tiles are missing, and we will have those in no time. So let's turn our bottle emptier here to salt water with a number 9 priority and enable auto bottle. Let's get us in a tiny little bit of salt water. And here comes Gromulent Green. Let's take a look. I expect flooding, and flooding it is. Perfect, that should be all we need. So let's remove the salt water. And just a tiny little bit spilled, which is okay. There we go. We're gonna mop this here all up, of course, with a number 9 priority. And I was ready for this. I built the tile right here. So let's mop it all up. And then when we take a look right here in our F4 overlay, we can see right here salt water, right here salt water, and right here salt water. And for what we are doing for this very temporary access that we need, it should be fine. Only one thing is missing, and that is tiles. 2 of them right here and 1 right there. Let's get those 2 here built first, and then we build the 3rd one, which will create a vacuum in this area, and that is exactly what I'm looking for. So dupes, let's get it done. And here we have it, the last tile is built, and now we can tear all 3 of them out. And that's exactly what we're going to do. As soon as those here are gone, we can safely dig into here because of those 3 tiles of salt water that we have. And once again, for this temporary access, it should be fine. I would not leave it like that long term, that is for sure. And here's Jemsterr tearing out the last tile, and now we can actually open up, and we can see that we have an actual vacuum in those 3 tiles. Perfect, that is exactly what that should look like. And Satsai just opened up the doors, and now we just have to build what we want to build right here. Alright dupes, let's get it done so we can close it back up and move on. And here is Luma Plays, of course, our super duper engineer, and he is putting in the automation wire as well as our Atmos sensor. Wonderful, that's what that should look like. And here comes our wall, just like that. And we are properly closed up again, and now we can set our Atmos sensor, and I'm gonna set it to above 750 grams. That should be perfectly fine. And then last but not least, we gotta tear all this stuff here out. All of it can go. Let's start with the top and then work our way downwards. That's how we're gonna do this, and it should be pretty simple and straightforward as usual. Might as well get mopping while we're at it. Those 3 tiles here need to be mopped up, and then when we have it all torn out, then we can take care of our hydrogen storage. And here we have it, everything is deconstructed, and we are just cleaning up here on the bottom. Before we do anything, let's take a look at our hydrogen storage. Of course, I could go into base and grab a gas reservoir, and I could use something like gold, because we have so much gold, we once again don't know what to do with it. And I can plop this entire area here full with those gas reservoirs, and then come over here and make this entire area here full with gas reservoirs. But is that really a good idea? I don't think so. Alone because of the frame rates. We're gonna use so much pipe, the gas is moving moving around so much every single time when we take something out, which will happen later, we will move a lot of this gas. And that is a lot of frames that we are going to lose, and it makes no sense in my opinion. So what we are going to do, we are going to build an infinite storage over here. It's going to be much more compact, and it's going to be much more better for our PC, or better to say my PC. Even though this thing is pretty high end, oxygen not included will bring it to its knees eventually, no matter what we do, so at least we should give it the best chance of survival. So let's do exactly that. To get started with, we're gonna go into ventilation and grab us gas pumps. And the gas pumps, I'm gonna make them out of gold, just to be safe, because we can definitely use those plus 50 degrees Celsius of overheat temperature. And at the same time, once again, we have so much of it, we don't know what to do with it. I'm gonna leave 2 spaces between our switch and our pump, and I'm gonna plop down 2 of them. Then right below the pumps, we're gonna need gas vents, and we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Just like this. Then we're gonna go into base, grab us an insulated tile, and the insulated tiles are gonna go all the way along down here on the bottom, all the way over the top, and then we're gonna go 3 extra tiles over here and build upwards, just like this. So just to make sure that we can reach everything, we're gonna build a ladder up here, and that is why I left 2 spaces, so we can have another ladder right here. Definitely never hurts to have an extra one. And over here on the other side, just so we have access here as well, I'm gonna plop down temporary ladders. Later on, we won't need those anymore, so those can go in just like that. Last but not least, we need a bottle emptier, and the bottle emptier goes right there. So let's get this here built, and then let's go from there. And right now, I bought a cycle later, we got it all done. Just like this, here it is. In our bottle emptier, we say liquid, and we say crude oil with a number 9 and enable auto bottle. We are going to use crude oil, and you're probably wondering why. If we take a look at our electrolyzer, we can see the hydrogen comes out at 70 degrees Celsius or hotter if the input materials are hotter, which is of course not an issue for water. But at the same time, we don't know. Maybe we will find a hydrogen vent. If we find one, that may become a problem later down the road. And in my opinion, it's probably a good idea anyways to use crude oil for our infinite storages. Even though what I'm preaching right now, I did not use myself in the last Let's Play, but this time around, we will go ahead with best practices, and this here is definitely a best practice. If you have crude oil available, go ahead and use it. That's simple, let's get it done. And here's our crude oil. We're just gonna wait until it goes all the way to the back, and then we're gonna start mopping. It's going to be this simple. May have some trouble right here with some gases, but also that should be fine here. Maybe we are putting in here a little bit too much. Let's stop it for right now, and then let's see if we can get this here fixed. Currently, I have no power hooked up, but we should probably change that at the bare minimum temporarily. So with our conductive wire right here, we're probably not going to use a conductive wire for that though. No, we're just going to come with a normal wire all the way through here and hook it up for right now, just so those things here have power and we can actually vent out a little bit of gas right here, which should be helpful in the long run anyway. Let's plop this one up here, and then let's see what happens when that is done. While this is being built, you're probably wondering what else I have put in here. So in our F2 overlay, we can see I just put in some wires so we can actually hook it up to power whenever we need it, which will be temporary right now, but permanent later on. In our F7 overview, we can see right here, I just put in some ducts. It's that simple, so we can actually get out of here. And in our automation overlay, we can see that I hooked the bottom ones up to a switch and also our pumps to a bottom switch. That's simple, that's straightforward, that's how it should be. And this here, we're actually gonna go cancel. There we go. I want the conductive wire right there. Currently, we are sucking stuff up, and it already did the job. We can see our crude oil now made it all the way to the back. We can turn it now off to save power because we definitely don't want to waste any. So let's get mopping in the second tile from the right. Dev Pony is here, he is mopping, and we just gotta let him mop here for a second. There we go, looking pretty decent. Dev Pony's getting it done, and the crude oil is slowly but steadily seeping back over, and that's what we're waiting for right now. Satse has just mopped for a second time, and just to help out, I wanted to put in another tile here, but that won't be necessary. Let's take a look. How much do we have here? It's still a tiny little bit too much. We have 1,400 grams right here. We have 1,000 grams right there, 600 and about 350. We want to be all together at around 2,400. And when we do the math here, we are above it. So let's mop one more time just for a second right here, and I hope I can capture this on camera. So let's see how that works out. Dan Schiff is here. Dan Schiff has mopped, and we can see we are now very low. Dan, stop mopping right away, please. There you go. Yeah, walk out of there, that's fine. And then what we can do is we can go in our sweeping and sweep up all the stuff here. We have no storage for crude oil, do we? Nope, we have never built one, but that is perfectly fine. We're just gonna grab us a bottle emptier, and the bottle emptier is gonna live right there for all I care, because it literally couldn't matter less. And then we're gonna grab us a mesh tile, preferably, there we go, and plop it right here. Could be a normal tile, it literally makes no difference, but for right now that is fine, and that's what we're gonna get done. And then we're gonna close the system here off. And then it's just running away with the last piece of crude oil, so we can now come over here and close this system here off entirely. And that is the plan. That's exactly what we are going to do. So let's get this here done. Then we're gonna pump it out with our 2 gas pumps right here, and then we should be able to finally turn our electrolyzer back on. Jemsterr and Dev Pony are getting the job done. That's what that should look like. Jemsterr building the last tile right now, and we will see what this here looks like in a second. Now we're gonna turn those 2 here on, and let's pump out all the gas. Everything that's in here, I just want to have a vacuum and literally nothing else. And right now we have pumped it out. Oh my goodness, I was too slow. I gotta turn off the pumps. I don't want to lose any of our precious hydrogen. And right now we are pumping the first few 100 grams in here. That is great. And our oil is normalized. And we have 250 grams, 600 grams, 700 grams, and about 427 grams, which is exactly what we want. Couldn't be any better than that, to be quite honest with you. So let's deconstruct all this stuff right here. We don't need it anymore. And in our F2 overlay, we are now able to hook it back up. Let's turn it on. How are we looking here on the bottom? That's one thing I haven't checked. Yeah, we will probably have a tiny little bit of a problem with those 2 tiles right here, because we cannot get rid of them. Yeah, that sucks, to be quite honest. Hopefully it will sort itself out, but it may be that we are pumping a tiny little bit of hydrogen down this line right here. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Son of a gun. What are we going to do about it? We could, for example, just snip this here off and snip this here off. So everything that is being produced is getting put out of this gas vent right here. That's probably the best thing until everything has normalized again. Let's take another look at it. As soon as all this hydrogen down here is gone, and also this here, this carbon dioxide here preferably, then we can make sure that we hook the rest back up. And there we have it, the bottom is now normalized, and right here we are also normalizing. So let's take a look in our F7 overlay. Is this here all oxygen? Yes, it is. And our pipe can now come back in, and now we are actually supplying our suits once again with oxygen, something that we haven't done in about 4 or 5 cycles, I believe, but we got it done, and now everything is ready to roll. And now this here's what our system looks like in our F7 overlay. We can see all the wonderful oxygen coming over to the left, getting equally distributed up and down until everything is full. As soon as everything is full, we are venting it out into our base. And up here on the top, we can see that all of our hydrogen is going up through this pipe right here, through this pipe bridge here to be precise, into our generator. And when this pipe here is full, as it is probably right around now, can we see it maybe right now? Yes, there it is. Wonderful timing. Now that it is full, we are coming over to our infinite storage. That is perfect. That's what that should be. And that should never make any problems again. Right over here in this area, it is time for our next big project. I have left this uranium ore here because I literally didn't know what to do with it. When we take a look into our radiation overlay, it has barely any radiation. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig it out. And you will see something quite interesting when we do that, because once we dig this stuff here out, it's not gonna be radioactive anymore. It's quite interesting. As soon as we dig it up, the radioactivity just disappears. But I'm not complaining about that. I just did not know what to do with this hunk here. We're just gonna store it like everything else and call it a day. What do we want to do here? When we take a look into research, let's take a look where we at. We want to research something very specific. If I just can't find it, that would be great. I have just no idea where it is. There it is, renewable energy. In renewable energy, we have the steam turbine, the solar panel, the sauna, and the steam engine. And what we mainly need is the steam turbine. So let's get this here started. But you may notice we need down here on the bottom applied sciences research, and that is being done in the material study terminal, and we do not have a material study terminal, so it is time to build one of those. But this time we're gonna do it a hell of a lot more efficient than we did it last time. So let's get started on that. In our first Let's Play, we put it just into space, and we used the natural radiation that we have in space, which is only 125 rads on this particular planet right here, to actually create radiation. This time we're gonna be slightly smarter, because over here on the right, we have 1, 2, and 3 Wheezeworts, and that's what we're going to use today. So let's get started on that right away while we're at it. I would say we're gonna dig into maybe something like this here. Yeah, that should work. all along here. We're gonna build some ladders, get rid of this, get rid of all of this here. Too high should be sufficient. Yep, there we go. Just like this all the way over. And then how can we get up there? Let's see, when we build a ladder through here, maybe that should work all the way down to there. Dig all the way over to here, and then once we are here, we're gonna grab this one here as well. That should give us 3 total Wheezeworts, and that's all we need. I just need to find a way to not let all this heat into here, because I still want to preserve this kind of cold biome right here. But first of all, we need the Wheezeworts. That's number 1 priority. We're gonna worry about everything else later. And now that all this over here is dug out, except that one Wheezeworts right here, why wouldn't you dig that one out? Come on, get it done. As soon as this is done, I'm just gonna block this here off with 2 insulated tiles and call it a day. For right now, all we want is the Wheezeworts, so I'm gonna go ahead and gonna give it collection commands. There we go, 1 here, 1 there. You know what, while we're at it, let's grab the sleet wheat as well, just to be safe. You never know when you need it. I don't have any plans for it right now, but later on, maybe so. We will see. One step after the next. Meanwhile, over here, everything has been dug out, so we can actually get started building. And we can see we have uranium ore right here, and if I turn on the overlay, no more radiation, it has just magically disappeared. Isn't that something? So we go into stations and grab us a material study terminal. And the material study terminal has on the left side this eye. This is where the radbolts have to go. And the smartest thing to do would probably build it right around here, maybe? I'm just guesstimating, I honestly don't know. It should be fine right around there, I would assume. And of course it needs a floor, or it will be relatively unhappy, and it needs a floor all the way to right there. The next thing that we need is farm tiles. In food we need farm tiles, and we need 3 of them. And then we take a look here. I'm gonna leave maybe 3 spaces, should be all right. Yeah, sure, why wouldn't be? Then come 1 over, come 2 down, or is it 3? I think it's 3 down, yes. And then another one right there. Nope, it's actually 2 down. That was my mistake. There we go, 2 down. And then right around here, we're gonna have 1 more. Then we need in radiation, our radbolt generator, and the radbolt generator lives right here. Once above, there we go, right around there, with a straight shot over to the right. That is what we need first. Once we have all of that, we can go from there. Everything except the actual material study terminal has been built, and Jemsterr is actually working on it as we speak. So let's go ahead and plant some Wheezeworts. Exactly 3 to be precise, with a number 9 priority, so it actually gets done as usual. And it's gonna look just like this here. It's literally going to be this simple. This radbolt generator, we can already set it up so I don't forget it later, just like this. And then we have here our power transformer. And when we take a look, we have a potential load of 960 watts plus 480 plus 120 makes by far less than 2000, so we're just going to use this large power transformer right here to power this entire system. And that is exactly what we are going to do. Who could have seen it coming? The only thing is we need to replace all of these wires here, of course, with conductive wires, otherwise it's gonna overload and it's not going to be very happy about that. So we're gonna come over here, gonna come over there, and gonna come over to here. The only thing is currently this ladder right here allows access to up here with Atmos suits. If I just build another ladder right here, the dupes will be able to escape. So we need to be careful with that and make sure that our dupes actually release their suits in their appropriate space. All of this here is still being built, and currently our Wheezeworts are not happy because they need phosphorite. How much phosphorite do we actually have? I should have probably checked that before we started, but it'll be fine. Phosphorite, okay, we have 104 tons. It's perfectly fine. The only thing is we need to get it here. And I don't want to use a hell of a lot of dupe labor for that, so what can we do about it? Let's take a look. Right around here, we have a nice empty space that we literally don't know what to do with. So we're gonna come here and build us a conveyor loader right around here. Then with a conveyor rail, gonna come down and over and right around here. Yes, right there. As a matter of fact, we're gonna come in with a conveyor chute. The conveyor chute, I don't want to have it open the entire time, or it's just gonna be a mess of so much fertilizer here that we don't know what to do with it once again. So in automation, we're gonna build us a timer sensor right beside it with an automation wire coming over, so we can actually control how much we are putting down here. That should be pretty simple and straightforward. Then we will also need in shipping once again a auto sweeper that can reach all those tiles, something just like this here. Yeah, look at this, that's perfect. And we're just gonna extend our power all the way up to the top. That should be anything that we could ever need. And right here, everything is now built and we can take a look at it. We have our auto sweeper right here, we have our conveyor chute here on the top, and our 3 Wheezeworts. But most importantly, how much radiation do we get out of 3 of them? And when we take a look, it is 1060 rads per cycle. That is quite a lot, not gonna lie. And look at this here. just as I measured, it works out perfectly. Right here where our fire pole is, we do not have any more radiation because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles over from our actual Wheezewort is where the radiation stops, and also the dupe that is working over here on the station should be safe. So let's run it and let's watch how the first bolt is being fired over into our material study terminal. That should literally happen any second. Now we are at 39 out of 50. So let's turn up the speed a tiny bit and we can see how fast it fills up. We are generating 106 rad bolts per cycle. So 2 shots are being fired per cycle from this one singular system right here. It is glorious, and that's exactly what that should look like. And here it should be flying, and it is over there, and the material study terminal should be ready for Jemsterr to be used. The last thing that we need to look at to actually get it ready to roll is our conveyor loader right here. So let's take a look all the way on the top. In agriculture, we need phosphorite. We say number 9 priority, and we say allow manual use so the dupes actually come by. Apparently, we also need a tiny little bit of power, which we have right here. No problem at all. There we go. And that should do it. And then let's see. We have our Wheezewort right here, and all it needs is a fertilization of phosphorite of 4,000 grams per cycle. And I have this thing here set to 2 seconds open every 600 seconds. So literally 2 seconds out of every single cycle. I'm not entirely sure if that's gonna work. In theory, the math works out, but let's see how good that works in practice. Down here on the bottom, we have another neural Vaccilator. And why don't we send Jemsterr in there? Might as well. Come on, Jemsterr, come over here, take a seat, and let's see what happens this time around. And here's Jemsterr in the dead of night, and let's see what he got. And his strength has increased by 10. That is awesome, Jemsterr, needing less oxygen and having more strength at the same time. Now that's a feat that not everyone can accomplish. Let's go. Right here on the top, we have our natural gas geyser, and it is currently dormant, so it is the best time that we actually get in here, and that's exactly what I'm planning on doing. We're just gonna build this liquid lock, get in here, put the pumps in that we need, and then we're gonna plop it all into an infinite storage. Yes, another infinite storage. You heard that right. It is absolutely necessary because the gas reservoirs just don't make sense. They just do not make sense in my opinion. Why would they only have a capacity of 150 kilograms? Give me a bigger version and I may be on board with it, but at 150 kilograms, it just makes no sense at all. So we're gonna do it my way. And everything has been replaced. The beginning of cycle 192 is here, and Krewak is coming, and I have a feeling I know what he's about to do. And once again, what I have done is I used the same method. We just have 3 tiles of a tiny little bit of salt water right here. Once again, not recommended long term, but short term it should be fine. Next of all, we're gonna make sure that all this stuff here gets out. We don't want it anymore, and later on I actually need to clean up everything. But first of all, let's build us a pump. In plumbing, we are going to grab us a pump. Where you at, pump? Not in plumbing, of course. My goodness, we need to go to ventilation, and we're gonna grab us a gas pump, and the gas pump is just gonna live in here. Nothing other than natural gas will ever be in here. When we take a look, it is pure natural gas, and as soon as we close it back off, it will never ever be anything else, so we can be sure of that. The only thing that I want to do is in automation, I want to add a Atmos sensor, and actually let me do it differently, huh? There we go. We're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna grab us the gas pump. We're gonna put it over here. That is the better place for it, and the reason is that we can now build a ladder up here. That should be a hell of a lot better. Yeah, that's it. And then in automation, we are going to grab us an automation wire, come over to here and put in an Atmos sensor. That should get the job done for sure. And now everything is built, everything is being cleaned up. That should be cleaned up. Let's make sure we give the commands one more time so everything that got deconstructed and dropped on the way in and whatnot also gets removed. There we go. And then last but not least, here's Jemsterr. And Jemsterr is not going to be very happy. I have a feeling about it. Yeah, he needs to be in here for a long time to actually get this thing here researched, or better to say analyzed. Yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, there's not a hell of a lot I can do about it, Jemsterr. You just have to tough it out. While we are torturing Jemsterr on the right, everybody else is over here and currently building our newest infinite storage, and also that should be done in absolutely no time. Isn't it wonderful when the dupes have absolutely nothing to do? Everything is getting built instantly. It's so nice. Not gonna stay like that for very long though, I can guarantee you that. And the oil has arrived once again, so we can start mopping, and that's exactly what we're gonna do in the second tile from the left this time. Last time around we built it from the right to the left. This time we're building it from the left to the right. It works exactly the same no matter what. The only difference is I built an airflow tile in here, and I should have done that from the very beginning, to be quite honest. So Jemsterr here is mopping, and we just let him mop until there's nothing left to mop, potentially, unless he is just mopping until the end of all days, but we will see how that goes. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Yes, 1800 kilograms, or grams, not kilograms. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. We're gonna mop one more time. Let's go. And with our crude oil, we have just mopped a second time, and we are once again in the same situation. When we take a look right here, yes, we have still a little bit too much oil in here, so we're gonna mop one more time for a very, very short period of time, and that should get us exactly where we want to be. And here comes Def Pony, and Def Pony is once again gonna be mopping, so let's make sure he doesn't mop too much. It should be actually perfect what we just have right here. Stop mopping, Pony. And let's take a look here. 1000 grams, 700 grams, 500 grams, and 200 grams. Yeah, that's perfect. I will work with that. Let's close it off and let's call it a day. And there it is. Everything is completed. Everything's working. We're pumping it out until we are below 500 grams because that is what we set our Atmos sensor to. And we're just pumping it over into our storage. We already have 14 kilograms in there. We're certainly getting there slowly but steadily. But next on our list is this entire area here. It's really annoying me because it's outgassing the entire time. And eventually the slime lung will find a way to take over again. And that is something I'm trying to avoid. What we're going to do is we're going to strip mine the entire thing. So let's do that. Over here with our material study terminal, we have two problems. Let's solve the first problem first, and that is we have no research selected. So let's see what we need next, and I can already tell you it's the filter gas pump. I've been waiting for this thing all game. This is my favorite mod in the game, literally. I literally don't know why this filter gas pump doesn't exist in the base game, as well as the filtered liquid pump as well. Those two things are so valuable in my opinion and make so much sense. It is the next thing on the list, no matter what. That is problem number one. Problem number two is that I kind of overlooked that we cannot reach the farm tile itself. Yes, the farm tile itself right here cannot be reached by this auto sweeper. So we have several options of what we can do. We can take the auto sweeper and we can just put it over here, for example, or over there. Either one would work. And I'm considering actually just doing that because it literally makes no difference for what we're doing right here. So yeah, we're gonna plop it right there and then we're gonna come down to here. And the only problem is that this one here has to be deconstructed. So we're gonna build us a piece of ladder probably right here and another one right there. Can then our dupes escape? No, they can't. So that's fine. In our F2 overlay, we are gonna get rid of this, not with the snipping tool, but with the deconstruction tool. We don't need that anymore, and we don't need that auto sweeper anymore. And that should solve that problem, but this time for good. Over here in our industrial area, we may already get started slightly to actually put in the cooling loops. So we're gonna build all of these here out of insulated tiles. Of course, that has to happen. And of course, Jemsterr has also finished the steam turbine a long time ago. So we will see. How many can we fit there in theory? 4 of them. Yeah, that's fine. Why wouldn't we put 4 of them in here? Might as well. The more, the merrier. We definitely have it. We are not going to build them out of lead though, guys. Come on, why would you take lead out of everything else? We're gonna build them, of course, out of iron. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is definitely overkill. There's absolutely no question, but we're gonna do it anyway. We have the plastic, we have the iron, and that's what we're going to do. And then down here on the bottom, what we of course will also need is in utilities, not in furniture. I said utilities, a thermo aqua tuner built out of steel. And that one is going to live right here, right beneath the steam turbine, and just like this. That should be perfectly fine, and that is what we're gonna build next. There is about a 0% chance that we are going to finish this here. Just letting you guys know in case you're curious, but we're gonna end the episode here very shortly, and we're gonna finish this here up next time around. While I was looking around the map and actually checking out our progress right here, which is pretty decent, we are slowly but steadily getting there. Also, this here can get deconstructed, by the way, and I don't think this deodorizer right here, does that serve any purpose? I don't think so. It has to go as well. Definitely no need for it right now. But what I found is, I was wondering, we are almost 200 cycles in and I have not found a teleporter. It is hidden up here in the corner. I finally found it. My God, who could have seen that one coming? I expected it to be in here, to be quite honest. But now thinking about it, this shape here is just off. But up here on the top, we have found it, and that is also certainly something that we want to get into. So what we are going to do is, of course, there's a shitload of salt water in front of it. So let's see, what can we do? We can always build up to here. Yeah, release the salt water on the right side here. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. Can we actually get there? I don't think we can get there, not with all the stuff here in the way. So let's dig all this here out, and then let's get up there. There we go. We can actually make our way all the way up. There we go. That's much better. And then we're gonna dig all the way over into this area here as well. And that should give us access to everything. And then next time around, maybe we can already take a first look at our new planetoid. There's one last improvement that I want to make to this system right here. I do not want to have the signal switch here anymore. There is actually a smarter way to do it, because currently we are full, and I just happened to see literally a second ago a red bolt to come across here, and because it is full, it is not going here into the hole, it is just plopping onto here and creating a tiny little bit of uranium right there. And that is of course not what we want to do. We were just wasting a bunch of energy, and I myself forgot to turn it off. So let's automate it. And how would we do that? Well, when we take a look at our material study terminal in the automation overlay, we don't only have an input, we also have an output, and it says here, sends a green signal when its red bolt storage is full, otherwise sends a red signal. And that is exactly what we're going to utilize. So with an automation wire, we are just coming straight across right here, and then at the end of it, we're going to build a NOT gate, because we of course want to reverse how it works. We want to have a red signal when it's full and a green signal when it is not full. And I don't know why it wouldn't be like this, but it is not. It sends a green signal when the red bolt storage is full. So we're going to fix that right away, just like this here, and we're going to get rid of all of this stuff right here because we won't need it anymore. Just as simple as that. And all we need for that is one piece of ladder that we're gonna plop right there. The dupe should not be able to get over here, so it should be fine. And here we have it, just like that. That was thankfully built in absolutely no time, and we can see it sends a green signal because it is full. We convert it to a red one, and it turns off our red bolt generator. And thankfully we have so much phosphorite that it just literally does not matter. Theoretically, what we could do is we could literally just come up with another wire and put an AND gate in here or something like that. But is it really worth it for the tiny little bit of phosphorite? I don't think so. So we are perfectly fine as we are right now. Wonderful. Here in the middle, towards the end of cycle 201, all of this here is now dug out as well. We just need to clean it up. And over here on the left, we also have our 4 steam turbines, as well as our liquid reservoir and the Cermaco tuner, and I already put in the piping system so it will work later on when we need it, and we are ready to roll for the next episode. But this is all I have for you today, so if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and of course comment down below. You know it, I'm always happy to hear from you. And with that I say thank you and peace.